See that, guys? I got a new background. Check it out. I have a confession to make. I am a naturally cynical person, and it is something I really need to work on. Oftentimes I get it into my head that something's not going to work out before I even have a fair indication either way. This feeling extended from the part of my life that is waiting for the poetry submissions to have an answer given to them, into the world of trying to find an internship. Here's the deal. A couple weeks ago, I ventured to ask the head writer of my local minor league team if I could accompany him in the press box and gain some experience writing. And this was something I should have known ahead of time, but the team was on a road for a while, so likewise, the guy probably wasn't in much of a hurry to respond to me. But naturally, due to this hiatus from the time I sent him a message to the time he actually replied to me, I started having another one of those mental nervous breakdowns thinking, oh my gosh, this isn't gonna work. I'm wasting my time. I'm annoying him. Such a prevalent part of my life right now, isn't it? This whole anticipation scene. Regardless, it was seriously like waiting for Jesus' second coming. Should I put a spoiler alert in front of that? Or it was like waiting for frickin' Sam to pull Frodo up when he was hanging off that cliff in Mount Doom. I feel like that was probably a revenge tactic for it taking so long for Frodo to pick up Sam when he was drowning. A vengeful little bastard. Gets me every time. Anyhow, from what I knew about the guy that was heading this whole writing department for the minor league team, I might not have gotten a reply from him had I not bombarded his Twitter inbox. And you know, that whole cynical side of me really became a waste of my thinking space because he replied to me a couple weeks later and we set up a day for us to meet. That day happened to be yesterday. It really got me thinking though. I can honestly attribute the success at gaining this experience and the subsequent days I might spend in the press box to being a pest. Now obviously I don't mean to recommend that you call them every half hour claiming to be the next best thing since J.R.R. Tolkien or toilet paper. But on that same token, no one really accomplishes anything by snugging themselves safely beneath a rug. You only get trampled on by those willing to make the daring dash across the room and actually have people see them for who they are. There's an art to being a pest though, and you have to be moderately careful or else they'll whip out the raid against you and that'll basically be the end of that. Obviously there are many key pieces of advice I could give you, but I'm sure you've heard them all before. For one, be polite. For another, be professional. And third, don't sound like you key jammed in an email. Or on the phone for that matter. In any of those situations, the guy or girl behind the phone or behind the email will likely be looking like this. What the fuck? Yeah. My experience may be a little bit different from what most people go through when it comes to getting an internship position. But from this tiny little tidbit, as well as my experience trying to get a part-time job, and from watching my sister try to make it in the internship world, I can honestly advise you one thing. When I say being a pest is important, it's not excessive bothering that I'm recommending you do. It's more like strategic self-advertisement. Whether you're seeking an internship or even a part-time or full-time job, persistence and decent amount of calling is definitely important to getting your name known. I work at a bookstore and I gained my first job by calling them every 5 days. If I hadn't, most likely they never would have looked at my application or given me a call back because they get quite a few every day. And I gained this little experience with the Florida State League team that I'm kind of interning with by messaging him pretty often. Whether it's an internship that's going to change your life or a part-time job that's just going to get you a little bit of money over the summer, quality and frequent contact is important to let you know not only the status of your application, but also will give the manager or the boss, CEO, whatever, a means to know that you're really serious about it. Trust me, politeness and persistence go an extremely long way in this world. With these things in mind, it will definitely become easier for you to transition from a latent bug into a pest, actually, a pest that knows when to use its voice and its wings properly. Moral of the story is don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I sent my boss 3 messages on Twitter before we finally agreed on yesterday to meet, and he actually invited me back tomorrow, so not only do I get to work at the bookstore, but then straight after I get to go to the ballpark, and it's going to be a busy day, but honestly, I'm really excited. One final thing I can say is do not underestimate the value of an internship, or the value of fighting for it. They are definitely worth the dance you might have to agree to. Internships can help you sort out whether the thing that you're pursuing is actually a vocation you might want to do for the rest of your life. And if not, you can make important decisions to change your course from there, whether it's declaring a major or even opting for a different one before it might be a little bit too late. Also, valuable connections are forged through internships. The boss that you have during the internship might have some sort of in on a higher company that can pay more and have more of a focus to what you want to do. And that's what I've found out from this. Hopefully this little baseball internship will take me somewhere. So remember, be a pest, but take a little bit of precaution and avoid the pesticides. On a final note, I am extremely open to suggestions as to what I should put at the end of my videos, because honestly, right now I have a little thanks for watching and a Microsoft Paint drawn flower, which is kind of lame, so if you guys have any better ideas, please let me know and I'll take them into consideration. Remember to lend me a thumb and click subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Side note, I saw Star Trek Into Darkness last weekend. It was incredible. You have to see it. The acting was absolutely wonderful and they could not have picked a better cast for that. Plus, when I got home, I found this gem of a thing on 9gag. It's, wait for it, Benedict Cumberbatch name generator. How cool is that? So if you have this aspiration to be like Benedict Cumberbatch, then by God, use this thing because it's freaking your one-way ticket into becoming more than a Cumberbitch. Let's see. We've got K, so Beelzebub, and then we got K again, Slumber Belch. So essentially, I'm a sleep burping Satan. Move over, Mark Pellegrino, there's a new Satan in town.